In this video, we will identify areas of engineering noncompliance when compared to the requirements of state registration and licensing laws. One area of engineering noncompliance is having unlicensed staking technicians making final engineering decisions and completing final designs. Dates on final designs are critical when analyzing engineering compliance. State registration and licensing laws allow unlicensed staking technicians to perform the initial design as long as the initial design is under the direct supervision of a professional engineer. Dates on the final design are important, and the initial design must always be earlier than the engineer's approval date. The initial design must be thorough for the professional engineer to review, which includes all required National Electrical Safety Code calculation results and profile drawings. Another area of engineering noncompliance is when the professional engineer does not apply their seal and signature on final designs before construction. By having professional engineers apply their seal and signature to engineering documents, they are certifying that the work complies with all applicable regulations and has been completed in accordance with accepted engineering practices. The engineering approval date must be before the construction date and applies to all new distribution designs, joint use designs, and any existing installations which were not approved by a professional engineer with their seal and signature. An important area of engineering noncompliance is when final designs do not include the required National Electrical Safety Code calculation results. In the field of engineering, especially in disciplines that involve public safety and welfare, such as distribution line design, it is a standard practice and a legal requirement for professional engineers to affix their seal and signature to any project they have designed or designed under their direct supervision. The seal and signature signify that the engineer takes responsibility for the design, ensuring that it meets all necessary codes, standards, and regulations, which includes National Electrical Safety Code calculation results. Another area of noncompliance is when professional engineers practice professional engineering without holding a certificate of authorization. A certificate of authorization grants permission for professional engineers to perform engineering services. Your state registration and licensing statute identifies that the professional engineer is required to have a certificate of authorization. The professional engineer is required to obtain and renew the certificate of authorization. The certificate is typically renewed every 2 years and costs approximately $200 and is completed by the cooperative officers and professional engineer. Design decisions and the quality of final designs have not really changed since the inception of the REA program. As the transmission line design industry made massive improvements during the computer era, cooperative professional engineers have not pursued best practices in overhead distribution line design. Best practices refer to the most effective and efficient methods or techniques that have been identified through experience and research as leading to optimal results in line design. By following established best practices, engineers can ensure that their designs, processes, and solutions meet the required standards and specifications. Best practices include engineering design documents as a final design, profile drawings, documenting system-wide National Electrical Safety Code calculation results, having a superior joint use program, and system modeling to identify, document, and correct all National Electrical Safety Code violations. All professional engineers have an obligation to report fellow professional engineers to the state licensing board if they are not complying with state registration and licensing laws. It is a violation of state law if cooperative professional engineers are not informing the State Licensing Board of telecommunication companies attaching to electric power poles without a professional engineer's approved design. Professional engineers are required to submit details of the installation like date and location of the installation, company name, who installed the joint use attachments, and the name of the telecommunications professional engineer. The State Licensing Board will then conduct a formal hearing with the telecommunication professional engineer and issue any appropriate fines and suspension. Another common noncompliance concern is where professional engineers are not modeling joint use attachments where no engineer-approved design exists. Most cooperatives have an unknown number of undocumented joint use attachments with National Electrical Safety Code violations. All joint use attachments that are not supported with an engineer-approved design must be modeled to either have the installations approved by the engineer or identify, document, and correct National Electrical Safety Code violations. The professional engineer should consult with the cooperative attorney to develop a procedure to correct National Electrical Safety Code violations as stated in the joint use agreement. The last common engineering noncompliance concern includes professional engineers substituting engineering approval as defined in state registration and licensing laws with the work order inspection. The work order inspection is identified in Federal Regulation 1724.32 and pertains to the inspection and certification of work order construction. The work order inspection is not a substitution for engineer approval as defined in state registration and licensing laws. The differences between the two include a percentage of designs are reviewed in the work order inspection compared to all designs before construction. A visual observation during the work order inspection compared to all required calculations must be performed to verify National Electrical Safety Code compliance, and no engineer seal and signature are included with the work order inspection compared to a professional engineer seal and signature on all designs as defined in state registration and licensing laws. State registration and licensing laws supersede any federal finance requirements for engineering approval. Federal finance and private funding are optional financing services, but engineering approval as defined in state registration and licensing laws pertain to all engineering designs.